Ahoy there, landlubbers and sea enthusiasts. The dense jungles and rivers of the Congo Basin are home to many mysteries, but one of the most astonishing tales is that of Mahamba, a colossal crocodile that is said to grow up to 50 feet in length. Historical sightings, encounters with a giant crocodile. Reports of Mahamba date back to the late 19th century, specifically in the 1880s, when the creature first gained public attention. One of the most famous accounts came from an explorer named John Reinhard Warner, who shared jaw-dropping stories of his encounters with these enormous crocodiles while sailing through the Congo. Warner claimed he saw multiple crocodiles that were longer than his steamboat, which measured 42 feet. Now, most people might exaggerate the size of a fish they catch, but Warner was talking about crocodiles as long as a bus. His wildest claim was that he saw a crocodile lying on a sandbar that was at least 50 feet in length, making it sound more like a river monster than any ordinary croc. Warner's stories didn't stop there. One of his personal encounters took place while he was hunting ducks, probably looking for something less terrifying than a 50-foot crocodile. As he crept along, he spotted what he described as a monster crocodile, sunbathing on the shore. According to Warner, the creature was so large that the saw-like ridge on its back stood about 4 feet above the ground. That's higher than some people's living room sofas. But when Warner tried to scare it off with a gunshot, the beast didn't hesitate. It whipped its tail, flinging sand everywhere, and disappeared into the water, leaving Warner both stunned and, likely, relieved. Another of Warner's more hilarious and terrifying run-ins occurred while he was cruising down the river on his steamboat. Imagine the scene. You're relaxing, probably thinking about lunch when your boat suddenly bumps into something. But instead of hitting a rock, you hit a crocodile. Warner reported that his boat collided with a crocodile more than 40 feet long, and the creature didn't even flinch. It's as if the crocodile was saying, "Oh, did something just hit me?" before it casually swam away like nothing happened. Warner must have been left wondering if he had just imagined the whole thing. But Warner wasn't the only one with wild crocodile tales. A local fisherman once claimed he saw a crocodile so massive it blocked a whole section of the river. "I was just trying to catch some fish," he reportedly said, "and then I realized my fishing line wasn't stuck on a log. It was on a giant croc. I cut that line faster than you could say lunch." According to him, the crocodile didn't even care, just kept floating down the river like a lazy submarine. In yet another incident, an old trader passing through the region in the early 1900s claimed to have seen a giant crocodile sunning itself near a village. The croc was so big, he joked that it looked like the locals were about to build a bridge over it. The trader, a man with a good sense of humor, said he gave the creature a wide berth and decided to travel by land for a while. These stories, while larger than life, have been passed down over the years, adding to the legend of Mahamba. Whether these sightings were exaggerated or real, they helped cement the idea that something gigantic and toothy was lurking in the Congo River. Mahamba, predator or tall tale? Locals in the Congo have long believed that Mahamba is not just another large crocodile, but a unique species altogether, one that is significantly more dangerous than your average Nile crocodile. And let's be honest, calling a 50-foot crocodile a man-eater is a bit like saying, yeah, that hurricane might get windy. But these stories from the region suggest there's more to Mahamba than just a big bite. The crocodile has a reputation for being cunning, scary, and, wait for it, a tunnel digger. One of the more bizarre claims about Mahamba is that it digs tunnels and caverns as long as 1,000 yards. Now picture that for a second. A crocodile with a construction side hustle. While most crocs are known to dig small burrows to cool off or stay warm, Mahamba allegedly takes things to another level, creating underground labyrinths worthy of a real estate listing. Locals say these tunnels serve as hiding spots for the massive predator, making it even more dangerous because you don't know when or where it'll pop up next. Imagine you're out fishing on the river, minding your own business, when the ground suddenly trembles and a giant croc bursts out of a hidden tunnel like a scaly, toothy jack-in-the-box. It sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what some villagers claim to have seen. "1 minute, I was casting my line," one fisherman said. The next, the riverbank exploded, and this huge croc comes out, looking like it had just tunneled from the other side of the earth. Whether or not this is true, the idea of Mahamba as a tunnel-digging menace adds a strange twist to the legend. Then there's the story of a local hunter who ventured into the jungle after hearing rumours about Mahamba lurking near his village. Armed with nothing but a spear, because that's totally enough against a 50-foot croc, the hunter set off. He didn't find Mahamba at first, but what he did find was even weirder: giant croc-shaped footprints leading into a cave. He later joked that it looked like Mahamba had been playing hide-and-seek, but when he heard strange growling from the depths of the cave, the hunter wisely decided to back off, saying, "If the crocodile wants that cave, it can have it. I'm not arguing with a 50-foot reptile." Another wild incident involved a group of tourists on a riverboat tour who were hoping to catch a glimpse of Congo's wildlife. What they got was more than they bargained for. As they passed a bend in the river, their guide casually pointed out a sunbathing crocodile on the shore, and everyone reached for their cameras. But as they got closer, the boat captain suddenly veered sharply to the right. When asked why, he simply said, "Oh, that's just Mahamba. You don't want to get too close." The tourists thought he was joking until the massive crocodile suddenly stood up, stretching to its full jaw-dropping length. Let's just say that was one boat tour those tourists never forgot. "I didn't sign up for Jurassic Park," one visitor was overheard saying afterward. And then there's the infamous story of the local soccer team that went to cool off in the river after a tough match. They were joking and splashing around when one of the players noticed something odd: a massive log floating downstream. Only it wasn't a log. "Hey, does that log have teeth?" one player asked. Moments later, the log moved, and the group scrambled out of the water, running for the shore like their lives depended on it, because they probably did. No one was hurt, but one player said he would never look at logs the same way again. These humorous but creepy encounters highlight how the legend of Mahamba is not just about a big, scary crocodile. It's about the way people react to the possibility of such a creature existing. Whether Mahamba is real or not, the stories surrounding it certainly make for some wild and entertaining tales. Theories and speculations: giant croc or just a big fish story? When it comes to Mahamba, the theories about what this giant crocodile could be are as varied as they are wild. Some people believe it's a completely new species, unlike anything scientists have discovered. Others think it's just a particularly large Nile crocodile, maybe one that's been eating a bit too well. And then there are those who think the whole thing is just one big fish story, except instead of a fish, it's a 50-foot croc with a side hustle as a tunnel digger. One of the most popular theories is that Mahamba could be some kind of prehistoric throwback, like a living dinosaur that somehow survived the extinction event. The kind of creature that makes you wonder if maybe Jurassic Park wasn't so far-fetched after all. Some enthusiasts point to the extinct Deinosuchus, a massive crocodilian that lived millions of years ago and could grow up to 40 feet long. They argue that maybe Mahamba is a distant relative, just hanging out in the Congo, waiting for someone to mistake it for a giant log. One cryptozoologist even joked, maybe Mahamba is just a Deinosuchus that missed the memo about going extinct. But not everyone buys into the dinosaur theory. Some skeptics say that Mahamba is probably just a very large Nile crocodile. They argue that there's nothing magical or prehistoric about it. It's just a regular croc that happens to be unusually big. These folks tend to poke fun at the exaggerated measurements in the stories. "You know how it goes," one scientist said with a grin. "First, it's a 20-foot croc, then it's a 30-footer, and before you know it, people are saying it's 50 feet long and can dig tunnels like a construction worker. Another fun theory that's floated around is that Mahamba could be a crocodile with some kind of growth spurt issue. Think of it as the Hulk of the crocodile world. Maybe it found a secret stash of superfood in the jungle, and now it's bigger, faster and stronger than any other croc out there. One local even joked that Mahamba must have been eating its vegetables while the other crocs were slacking off. Of course, there's always the chance that these giant croc sightings are just cases of mistaken identity. Maybe locals and explorers are seeing big crocodiles, around 18 to 23 feet long, and their minds are playing tricks on them, making the creatures seem even larger. It's like when someone tells you they caught a fish this big, and their arms keep stretching wider and wider. A fisherman once said, "I saw a croc so big, it could have been the size of a bus." Then again, maybe I was just really scared at the time. Some people even speculate that the Mahamba myth is a mix of exaggeration and local legend. Maybe the crocodile started out as a big creature, but over time, the stories grew larger than the crocodile itself. By the time the tale got passed around, Mahamba had gone from big croc to river monster. A local villager once quipped, "Next thing you know, people will say Mahamba flies." And then there's the nope theory, as one local put it. According to this theory, Mahamba is real, but it's so terrifying that most people who see it just turn around and run. "If I ever see a 50-foot crocodile," one fisherman said, "I'm not sticking around to measure it. I'm getting out of there faster than you can say dinner." Despite all the theories, the question remains, is Mahamba a gigantic, undiscovered species of crocodile? Or is it just an exaggerated tale that's been blown out of proportion over the years? Whatever the case may be, one thing is for sure. Whether real or imaginary, Mahamba has left a big, scaly footprint in the world of cryptids and folklore. Whether Mahamba is lurking in the rivers or just in our imaginations, one thing's for sure, it makes for one wild story. If you don't want to miss more larger-than-life tales, smash that like button and hit subscribe before Mahamba comes tunneling into your feed.